Now BBC2 delves into the world of golf, beginning with the rules and gadgets of the game. Peter Alliss introduces So You Want to Play Golf?
Welcome to Florida and to the Walt Disney World Resort, a wondrous place covering some 45 square miles. We've come to bring you some golf programs. Some of the magic and some of the mysteries hopefully will be revealed to you. We've got the best coaches, men and women, that the United States have to offer. They've come from far and wide, and we've brought our pupils all the way across the pond from Great Britain. And what a mixture we've got, young and old. We've got a blind gentleman, one with one arm, so everything for you to see, including a left-hander. Well, I better get on with it. I'm getting quite sort of itchy feet and fingers on this lovely sunny day. I've got a bit of water to carry here, but, well, we'll see if the old memory's still in place. What does he say? Slowly back, follow through. I say, life in the old dog yet. My old dad would have said that was a bit commercial. It wasn't too bad. Well, now, who have we got for you today? For today's lesson, we're going to cover the tee shots and the swing with Rena Ritson, the head professional here at the Lake Buena Vista Golf Club and one of the most respected golf coaches in the United States. The pupils from the Woburn Golf and Country Club, Joan White, a lady of mature years but playing off a handicap of 23, and young Danny Nicholas, 16, who's only been playing 4 years and has a handicap of 4. Let's meet Rena. Now, Rena, do you have one simple philosophy that runs entirely through your teaching routine?
You know, Peter, I really don't, I don't use a method. I don't believe there is such a thing as a method because the human race is so different. I try to teach each student what they require in the golf swing and what's right for them. I'm a great believer in what's right for one could be very wrong for another. So to teach everyone exactly the same thing, I would say, no, I don't have a method. I do have a pet peeve, though, left wrist control.
If this
yes,
is
if
not
this
working.
is all cupped or it's shut,
Yeah.
you know, it really makes it extremely difficult for the student to come into the shot correctly and try and accelerate some club head speed. So left wrist control, to me, it'd probably be a peeve of mine.
Well, now, you've got two very different pupils today. You've got Joan, who's past 21, so it says on her passport.
Slightly.
She wants to hit the ball further. What are the chances of her being able to do that?
Oh, I definitely think we can get some more power there for Joan, yes. There's a restriction in her backswing, which is not allowing things to happen for her. And Danny is a young, loose, agile, young fellow with everything going for him. And I feel in his golf swing, his right shoulder is moving into the downswing too soon, and therefore he's stuck in this position.
There and the face open.
Absolutely.
Come on, we're going to eavesdrop on you.
Wonderful.
Come on, let's see what you're going to make of these two.
Gosh, Danny, that's a pretty good shot right there. All right. Right, let's have a setup routine here. The one thing I want you to remember, Danny, always, is the setup routine involves 70% of what's going to happen to the golf swing. So let's check that setup out. Good. Ball position looks pretty good. Right off the left heel, that's a lot better. This position looks a lot better. Now, this is a key in the golf swing. The more this elbow is here or the elbow is there influences what's going to happen in the actual control of the units on the backswing. And what you're trying to do is control units. Your shoulders, elbows, and your hands. If they work away from each other or they try to make an excessive rotation, we're in trouble. Okay?
Sure.
Right, let's have a golf swing, Danny. We just gently turn the elbow in. Very good. Okay, now what I'd like you to do for me, Danny, is swing to the top of your backswing. You've told me that you're really fighting this little push fade.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to show you what I believe is causing it. Remember the ball position? The position of the right elbow turned into his position. Swing to the top of the backswing and stop. Okay, now what I'd like you to do for me, see how your club right here wants to go into a layoff now. See how it's drifting? The more I do that. By the time you're getting into the shot here, you're in a total layoff position. And that's where your push fade is coming from. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Now I want you to get to the top of the backswing and stop for me, please. Okay. Now if I did this to you, we just took this elbow and we just eased him just a fraction this way. Now what happens to the club face is it'll start moving more into a parallel position. Okay? The more you do this, the more your club face is going into a layoff at the top of the backswing. So the more you're here, the more this shoulder will work as a first unit on the way down. Now your shoulder's blocked you out. It's very difficult from a right shoulder position like that to get any form of rotation. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're fighting that rotation all the time.
Sure.
Okay, now let's start that back at address, please. It's going to become very important for you to control what happens in here. If the distance widens in here, you're affecting the wrist and the club face. So I really want you to just feel this guy's turned in towards that guy, and the only thing I want you to try to do is control these two units close to each other throughout the swing.
Gotcha.
Don't think about anything else, Danny. Oh, yeah. That's pure. Very good. Now, I'd like you to just work on that for a little bit, and I'm going to have a look at Joan here.
Sure, right.
All right, Joan, tell me, you have a little loss of power here?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Always have suffered.
Let me see one of your golf swings.
Sure.
Well, I see what you're talking about, Joan. You really hit it very straight all the time, but
Yes.
we need a little more pizzazz going there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned to Danny a little earlier on, the setup routine will dictate about approximately 70% of what's going to happen to your golf swing. So I'd like you to set up for me, and I'm going to make a few changes in the setup, which is going to allow you a lot more freedom in your backswing. You're very, very tied up in that backswing, Joan, so you're not getting enough of the club swinging back to create any form of centrifugal force coming into the shot.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. Just set up for me, Angel. Okay. Now see how your posture is very straight?
Yes.
Just straight up like this, and you're just standing like this. Now, this is an area that we're going to have to change, okay? And what I'd like to do, first of all, is mention that your left heel pad, which is this pad on the golf club here, you don't even have this little guy on the club. Now, this little guy here controls the wrist, and the wrist controls the club face, so the relationship in here is direct. So it's important that this heel pad be placed the club is placed in a diagonal position in the hand, like this, and the entire heel pad is placed on top of the golf club.
Yes.
Good. You should play with your left thumb at about a 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock position. You really should, because your hands are very tiny,
Yes.
and we need to be able to place this pad up on top. So we're going to put the pad up. Now, take up your right hand for me. Very good. Your right hand goes on very nicely, Joan. It's a little over for you, but right there would be perfect. Okay? And from this position, oh, you've done this so well. You must have been watching me and Danny. Okay. So the right elbow is turned into position, and what I want is right in the groin, right in here, I want you to push back and then flex your knees. Okay? It's a strange motion. If people flex their knees ahead of actually getting set up, they can't get back. But if they just go back and then into a flex, they're always set in a very strong position. Good. Let me just check this. Elbow position. This is the bow position. To flex the knees. Slight flex. Now all I want you to do, and I haven't touched your swing, it's just a setup change. I really want you to have a nice free backswing for me, please, Joan. Oh, that's close. Much freer in there. So much better, and we haven't touched the golf swing.
No.
Just the setup
And I
routine.
did go higher.
Much higher.
Oh, good.
And as we go along with the lesson, it will get better and better.
Yes.
Great.
Good.
I'd like you to practice that a little, please. How are we doing here, Danny?
Not bad, not bad.
Good. I want to have a look
Getting
at
there.
this again, please.
Okay.
Right elbow into position. Good. Now that's a much better type of ball flight. There's a lot more freedom involved there. I want to show you a little something that I work on with many golf professionals, where they have this feeling of coming into the shot a little too early, which you have.
Right, sure.
All right, let's get to the top. Right. Now, from this position here, Danny, what you want to learn to feel is the right shoulder does not move with you in this position. This does not happen to you, okay? That is incorrect. I'd like you to get the sensation of the right shoulder staying in his position and the hands and arms dropping into position. So it's more this. Instead of being here and in this motion, this is your motion all the time. So by the time you're here, you cannot rotate your arms through the shot. And that's that block shot that you hit. But if I got here, left the shoulder in position, dropped the hands and the arms into position, now it's very easy for me to rotate. So I leave this guy behind me. I want to bring him with me. Okay, let's get those elbows, please. Excellent. I want you to try to feel that you leave your right shoulder and drop your hands and arms into the shot. Good.
An overhead view now of Danny's swing, and you can get some idea of what Rena's trying to tell him to do. Hit down, watch that right shoulder, but look at that tremendous follow-through. A great prospect for the future.
How are we doing, Joe?
I hit one good one then.
Okay. Turn that elbow in a little more and push that little butt out there. Don't be frightened. Good. Nice free backswing. All right.
Rena is trying to get Joan to generate, or be in a position to generate a little bit more power. She's not a strong person, but with timing, rhythm and balance. Well, can she do it? I think she can.
You're feeling a lot more power coming into your shots
Yes,
now.
I'm feeling more freedom.
Absolutely. Your backswing was very restricted. And for a tiny little thing like you, it's very hard to hit the ball from here.
Yes, yes.
It'd be hard for someone even that was big. So those little toes are turned out.
Oh, yes.
Get that little tail out there. Slight flex, elbow turned into position. Good. Nice free backswing all the way up. And thank you. How much better was that?
It did feel much better.
All
So much
right.
better.
Slow play, the curse of modern golf. Many reasons have been put forward as to why play has slowed up so dramatically over the last 10 or 15 years. Perhaps it's because we have many more new players coming in. New players who haven't been schooled by the old retired wing commanders and colonels of my day. It's a pity really, because they're missing out on a lot, and I think they could get something more out of their game, and certainly the people playing behind them could get more fun and enjoyment out of it. Some players don't take the precaution of having a spare golf ball with them, so if they go into trouble they have to scuttle another 30, 40, 50 yards back to the bag, get another ball out, back to where they've just struck from, and they might do it all over again. Some of them never have a tee peg in their pocket. The glove isn't on. Just imagine how long it will take you to take a glove out of your back pocket, pull it on a rather sticky day, and then sort of flex your fingers and then tee up and discover that you don't have a tee peg. All this wastes 20, 30, 40 seconds. And if you do it 2 or 3 times on each hole and you've got a 4-ball in progress, at the end of it all it can be an hour and a half more than perhaps it should be. We mustn't blame the poor old handicap golfers for all the slow play. You know, in the world of professional golf, the World Cup, that's where 2 top professionals represent their country, play has been known to take almost 6 3/4 hours. 6 3/4 hours, and that on a hot and humid day is no fun. Here at this lovely resort, well, this sign says it all. They allow you 4.5 hours. Somewhat of an improvement on the 4-ball pro game, but at the Trevose Golf and Country Club in North Cornwall, there's a sign on the first tee there that says 3 hours is far too long for 18 holes. Well, that may be a bit quick in this day and age, but I know which philosophy I prefer. Rena, you've been the head professional here for 14 years. You've seen many changes?
Oh, tremendous changes, Peter. The involvement of women's golf in the United States has really been tremendous.
You know, the interesting thing to me is that I doubt whether there are more than a handful of women in Britain who are running golf clubs, we might say the head professional. And yet here, what do you got, 20, 30,000 teaching professionals in the United States? What percentage would you say of those might be women? Quite a large percentage?
Large percentage of
Really?
women, yes. I would say a minimum of 15%.
Really?
Yes.
Now, why do you think that is? Whose idea was it really to bring women in, primarily to teach women?
Well, I think what started happening, really, it started happening in the pro shops, where the pros found that the girls did a superior job. They were, you know, very much more meticulous about what they were doing, and they helped with the purchasing, and they were just really good in the shop to the guests or to their members. And it evolved from there.
Now, well, you've seen the game at so many different levels, not only the playing at it at the highest level, but now running a big facility like you have here at Lake Buena Vista. Do you think that more men would learn more about their golf game from watching good women play than watching the macho men?
Well, I think for the average guys, you know, between 12 and 25, even to 30 handicap, could learn more from the girls, because the girls are not really powerhouse swingers. They're more the finesse players.
Any resentments from the males?
Peter, you know, I wouldn't say resentment, but certainly there was a segregation type thing. You know, this was a man's world, and suddenly here are women appearing in their world. You know, today, I mean, I can honestly remember in the beginning it was little kids and guys, etc., and now it's women coming out, booking golf lessons, and the next thing, they are playing and their husbands aren't, and they're bringing their husbands to the game, which it always was the other way around.
Is the old saying still true? Ah, yes, she or he can hit the ball, but hasn't yet learned how to play. In other words, you can hit it, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? You've got to put it all into the package and save shots and learn course strategy and
absolutely
how not to waste shots.
You know, it's like learning any game. If we play Monopoly, we could all read the rules, learn the rules, but once you roll the dice, you have to know how to play the game.
Drink to that. Water hazards, very much a part of modern golf. And there are many options when your ball lands in the water. Greg here is demonstrating just one of them. Up she goes into the water. Option 1, play the ball as it lies. 2, take the stroke and distance penalty, particularly if you played from the tee on a short hole. Or 3, determine the point where the ball last crossed the margin of the hazard, but you must always imagine a line between that point and the hole, and drop behind the hazard on an extension of that line and add a 1-stroke penalty. Now, what do you do if this happens? You've got to pitch up to the green. You just catch it a little bit heavy, looks not too bad, up the bank it goes and then back into the water. Well, you've got to imagine a line between that point and the hole, then drop behind the hazard on an extension of that line, but add 1-stroke penalty. A watery grave, and retrieving those little pellets is now big business. You'll be surprised what they'll get up to get them back. Now here comes Wally Armstrong, famous for his unusual teaching aids. Ha ha! Did I spot the kitchen sink? Now this looks like a rather small coat hanger with a groove down here. Now tell me, what does that do?
Well, that's what it grew out of, just working with a plastic coat hanger. But this has got so many uses, and it helps you feel the grip by lining it up with the leading edge.
Well, the whole thing with the leading edge.
Lines up. Then when you put your hands on, it puts that thumb on the right side and this thumb to the left, balanced.
Yeah.
But the main thing that it helps is you need to have a good solid wrist cock to support the club. So a lot of golfers have a tendency to lay the club off, but this forces the wrist to cock by touching the arm, so it gives you feedback. And for women, it's just going to revolutionize ladies golf because women have a tendency to want to lift, and they try to drop it off. Well, you can't drop it off here. It cocks in here, see?
And you've got that little piece
and it
there.
touches you, see?
Yeah.
So a lot of people will go even this way, see?
Yeah.
But you know it's right, and when you're looking at the ball, that's the problem. The pro may help you and get you in the right position for 10, 20 balls during the lesson. Then when he leaves, you're going to go back to the habit. But when you work with this with a pro, you see the principle, and then you feel it. You don't have to guess if you're doing it right or not.
And I guess that helps on any shot you play. Little
any
punch
shot.
shots, little
punch shots is great because you cock it, and then on the way through, you hold it on your arm, see, and that boom.
Yeah,
see how solid that is?
What about this? This looks like a, I don't know, well, I don't know, a ruler, set of rulers.
What we do with this, Peter, is we start with this teaching the grip. See, and the hands have to be balanced.
These are just three pieces
and
of
three
plastic,
little
like
plastic.
a ruler.
It's like a ruler.
Yeah.
And we use this to put behind the hole on long putts to putt into the 1 foot area.
Yeah.
We use it to lay down on the ground to build a teaching station so that whenever they practice, this always goes to the hole. The club face lays on this so you have a square blade to your target line. And then this you can set your shoulders on in the line.
So if I put the club on there,
like
and
that,
then I just
you slide it
so
up.
I put the ball here, and then I'm parallel to these
You're parallel, everything's parallel, so when you practice, you're always practicing in the correct setup and face alignment, so you don't get into bad habits.
Well, what about this? Now, I could have done with this for washing down my old family saloon.
Well, this is great. This has got a lot of different uses.
Just a bit of sponge.
It's just a sponge, but it's designed to fit between the arms. This is one way, and then we swing this for pitch shots, see? You know how great, you've got to have those arms swinging, see?
Yeah.
Squeeze the elbows.
Yeah.
Now we also use it to put under the arm to keep that left arm, and let it fold as you come through, see? A lot of people will come through and they separate the arm and the face is open, but this helps the face square, and it's great for carrying a slice. And we put this between the knees.
Oh, steady now.
And
what does that do?
This just helps you develop footwork, see? And the knees, a lot of people have the knees are going out this way.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other uses. You know, if you have a reverse pivot, people lean this way and they try to fix it down here, but I think it's because a gap forms in here, so we put this here and have people play little shots like this.
You've got to hold the sponge rather like a violin.
Like laying your head on a pillow. That's the analogy people give, but instead of giving them an analogy, I just give them a real thing to do, then they have the actual feeling.
Now, apart from some medieval torture weapon, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger swinging this made of steel, what's this do?
This is called a tempo ball.
Give me a club, give me a club.
You adjust that to the length of a 7-iron.
Yeah.
Tempo ball.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest thing that people need to develop, especially when they start out, is tempo. So you turn your body and swing the ball, and the ball will tap you at the same place on both sides of your swing, right in here. And of course, if you have to turn and swing. Now, if you say you're sitting back on your heels and you do it, and you swing, it'll hit you lower. Or if you come through and you raise up. So,
we're going to join them.
They're having a lot more fun than we are, believe me.
He strangles himself. Wait for us. The good ship Miss Tilly stranded high and dry on a jagged rock. Well, let's hope our pupils don't experience such difficulties as they face the water on the par 3/16. One of the newest features of golf course architecture is the usage of water. Of course, water fulfills many needs. Sometimes it's a storage area, reservoir for the irrigation. Sometimes it gets rid of a wet spot. But here, remember, at Lake Buena Vista, 25 years ago, this was a jungle, real Everglades stuff. This is the 16th hole, a pretty little short hole as you'll ever see. But in many ways, it's frightening, particularly for the long handicap player. It's very claustrophobic. It creeps in on you. Can I get over the water? Let's listen to what the girls are hatching up here.
Bunker, okay?
Yes.
And then you look at the distance right across the
Well,
way we
you
normally
two,
play.
have you got your game plan?
I think so.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yes. Well, after today's tuition with Rena, I'm really going to have a go at that pin.
Good for you. What would you have done before then? Played across the
definitely. My aim would be just for that little bit of green before the bunker, just to get over the water, thinking, well, I've done that. But no, after today's tuition...
Full of confidence.
I hope so.
Well, I'm going to speak to young Danny. Carry on with
Yes.
your team talk, Captain.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
All right, John. Let's line it up there. Now, the alignment's going to be important. That's good. Just put a little bit more pad on there. Just relax, relax. Okay, little butt out, elbow in. And good. We're going to just swing, sitting into that knee. Oh, what a great shot, Joan. Yes. Look at that. That's wonderful.
I believe
That's
it.
great. Super.
That's a nice shot she's played there, you know. She's just gone through the back of the green.
Not bad at all, pretty good.
Oh, what do you make of this for a little short hole?
Great hole, isn't it? Nice little wall around there, superbly built.
This
Very
is something
nice.
you've probably not seen before, Danny.
Not really, no. It's just a fabulous hole, isn't it, really?
Well, from this tee, we're about 120 yards or so to the middle of the green. And the interesting thing about the architecture of this particular hole is the budget for creating that green is probably about a third of a budget for a whole golf course in the UK. If you were building a modest golf course, but you can see quality does count.
Yep,
And it's
definitely.
a beautiful job. Now, we've come to the middle back tee. Joan played from no more than about 80, 85 yards. You've got about 120, say. What club have you got?
Got a 9-on.
No, there's
Yeah,
a bit of
just
breeze
hit a
getting up. You've noticed that?
Yeah,
A little
feel
bit
it
of breeze
coming
in the
into
last 5 minutes. You need a nice firm one. Now, don't force it.
Right.
You easily carry over the water.
Okay, yeah.
You've got a wide green, but it's a narrow green.
Yeah.
So you just want a nice, straight shot. Trust your swing. Don't hit too fast at the ball. Float it up there. Find the green. Get your 3.
Yeah.
So come on, a nice smooth shot now.
Right.
9-iron.
Yeah.
It's a good 9 now with this breeze, but don't flog it. If you're not sure, we'll change it and play an 8. But you happy with a 9?
Yeah, quite
Right.
happy.
Well, you struck it beautifully. If that's the right club, that's an ace. What a sweet shot. Lovely shot. You got really nice balance there. That was sweet as a nut.
Thanks.
Should go far, I shall put on your report.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Pick up the tee, don't waste them. They cost a penny each. Or maybe threepence. Well, they were very good tee shots you all played there.
Yeah. I surprised myself.
I think you're only just off the back of the green, Joan. You've got a little chipper.
Yes.
The magic chipper.
No trick shots right
Actually,
there.
there's not as much room up on this green when you actually get here as there looks
right,
from
yeah.
the tee, because it's narrow with the
Slopes
flag
this way.
at the back edge today. It's not the easiest of places to find.
No.
You just stayed on. Then.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I shall hold the pin. Where are you, Joan? You're down there. We'll go around here. We'll get a good
Yes.
sight of
Don't
you.
walk on his line.
Take your guru with you.
Yes.
Okay, Joan. See how it slopes a little bit from right to left here?
From right to left.
There. See the big slope? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
That's not bad at all from there.
Very good.
Oh.
Very quick from there. How do you like it, Danny?
Right out, please, Peter.
Right out.
Keep facing towards
From
you.
the way that one came down, it's a bit speedy.
Bit.
There was a great putter years ago called Doug Ford, and his great claim to fame was he used to say, I'm never short with my first, second, third or fourth putt. Oh, steady. Steady, steady. You haven't missed your turn either. That's when you try and explain to folks at home how fast the greens at Augusta are. Augusta greens would be about another 40% faster than that. It's a separate game. It's a game within a game. Oh, the confidence of youth. Well,
I
hold.
remember you. I used to be.
Well, hold. Now, come on, Joan. You've got that for the hole. I don't know why I'm giving you so much encouragement.
John, why don't you just hit it straight?
Straight.
Don't look for too much there. Go, baby.
No.
Oh,
Well,
close.
call it a half in three. Even I would give you that bit, Joan. Even I would give you that. Well, half in 3.
I'll take that.
That was a
Thank
good
you.
putt you hit there, my boy. So that's the end of the programme. Hope there was something in it for you. Indeed, whether your handicap was low or high. As for me, well, I found it very interesting indeed. And who wouldn't on a lovely sunny day like this? And so until we meet again, bye-bye.
And the golfing tips continue next Saturday morning at the same time.